very much. Is that loud enough? I'd like to call this meeting of the Ascension Parish Council on this May 2nd in the Ascension Parish Courthouse in Donaldsonville to order. I'd like to ask Mr. Martin McConnell if he will please give us our invocation. We'll all stand and remain standing for the pledge.
Lord, we thank you for the opportunity and the freedom that we have to gather here together, and we hope that we can gather in your name on this National Day of Prayer as we do the work for your people, and we hope that we can do it in the way that you want us to. And we ask that you put your hand on our shoulders and you guide us as we try to make the best decisions that will benefit all of the people in our community. Thank you for all of the wonderful people who are here today with us, who have joined us, because these are the people who are also out there in the community, in the trenches every day doing your work. And as always, we thank our brothers and sisters in uniform, whether they be here or in faraway lands. We hope that you can bring them home safely and soon to their families. Amen.
We have several members of the council who are unable to attend tonight. Councilman Lawler is out. Councilman Turner is out. Councilman Kluwat is out. Councilman Johnson is out, all with significantly good reasons for being so. There will be a chair's addition. I would like to ask the permission and consent of this body to move or to add to the agenda an item 6.1 behind the parish president's report, which will be a resolution for a waiver of continued permits on properties that were damaged during the 2016 flood as they reconstruct.
So moved, Madam Chairwoman.
I have a motion by Councilman Satterley, a second by Councilman Todd Lambert. Are there any objections? Hearing none.
You gotta have
Unanimous, so let's do a roll call.
Yes.
Councilman Joseph.
Yes.
Councilman Dawson.
Yes.
Councilman Satterley.
Yes.
Councilman Dempsey Lambert.
Yes.
Councilman Todd Lambert.
Yes.
Councilman John Cagnolati.
Yes.
Chairwoman Casso.
Yes. So that will be added. I would also like to move items 12, 14, and 15 and relocate those to items 7.1, 7.2, and 7.3 for the benefit of our many guests who are here this evening who need to be able to get back home as early as possible. There is a public sign-in period as in this meeting as in any other public meeting, and you are welcome to, if you have a comment you'd like to make, to come in to the podium, grab a card, green or red, sign that card, get it to Sentiment. You will have 3 minutes at the appropriate time to speak on any item on the agenda. At this time, we'll go on to item number 5, which is the presentations. There is a proclamation, item A, to proclaim National Nurses Week in Ascension Parish. Mr. President. Oh, Mr. President, can I take 1 second, please?
Sure.
I need to acknowledge, we have some guests in the building. Representative Bacala is here tonight, our district attorney, Mr. Ricky Babbin's here tonight, Judge Jason Vertiget, Judge Aaron Lanou, our clerk of court, Bridget Hanna's here tonight. We have, all those folks are here. We appreciate you being here. We thank you for that, and we wanted to make sure that we acknowledge you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now, Mr. President.
Okay, will the nurses come up? Okay, whereas the nearly 3.6 million registered nurses in the United States constitution of nation's largest, consist of the nation's largest healthcare profession, and whereas the depth and breadth of the registered nurses profession, this is not real big enough for me to read here.
Mr. President, you need my glasses?
Sure. You want me to finish that?
Let me have the mic then. All right.
There you go, Yvonne.
Whereas the depth and breadth of the registered nursing profession meet the different and emerging healthcare needs of the American population in a wide range of settings. And whereas the American Nurses Association, as the voice for the registered nurses of this country, is working to chart a new course for a healthy nation that relies on increasing delivery of primary and preventive health care. And whereas a renewed emphasis on primary and preventive health care will require better utilization of all of our nation's registered nursing resources. And whereas professional nursing has been demonstrated to be indispensable component of the safety and quality of care of hospitalized patients. And whereas the demand for registered nursing services will be greater than ever because of the aging American population, the continuing expansion of life-sustaining technologies, and the explosive growth of home health care services. And whereas more qualified registered nurses will be needed in the future to meet the increasingly complex needs of healthcare consumers in this community, and whereas the cost-effective, safe, and high-quality healthcare services provided by registered nurses will be an increasingly important component of the U.S. healthcare delivery system in the future, and in celebration of nurses who lead the charge for healthcare and wellness, along with American Nurses Association, Our Lady of the Lake Ascension has declared May 6th through 12th as National Nurses Week with the theme 4 Million Reasons to Celebrate, #ThankANurse.
Now therefore, I, Kenny Matassa, President of the Parish of Ascension, State of Louisiana, by virtue and authority vested in me, do hereby proclaim May 6th through 12th, 2019, National Nurses Week.
Thank you very much. In 1993, the Nurses Association declared May 6th through 12th as National Nurses Week to celebrate and elevate the nursing profession. And National Nurses Week is a time for everyone, individuals, employers, other healthcare professionals, community leaders, and nurses to recognize the contributions and the positive impact of America's 4 million registered nurses. Each year, the celebration ends on May 12th, which is Florence Nightingale's birthday, in case you weren't sure why it ends on that day. It is fitting that American Hospital Association follows Nurses Week with Hospital Week to be combined at Franciscan Missionary Our Lady Health System as Spirit Week, as we cannot achieve great results without everyone working together. The Baton Rouge market integration has brought strength to our community hospital to achieve a broader service line for our patients and our community. The impact of 4 million nurses across the country is one powerful voice. And if I added in here a little caveat, just ask Senator Walsh from Washington, who received over 1,700 decks of cards because the nurses took a little slight by a comment she made. So I have been a nurse for 35 years, and trust me, I've never seen any of my colleagues play cards. I have seen nurses, however, achieve great results with one collaborative voice. Our Lady of the Lake Ascension has achieved a leapfrog score of an A for the 5th time, been named Hospital of the Year 7 times, maintained 0 infection rates for central lines, wounds, catheter-associated infections. We lead the system with our local area HCAP scores, which, if you didn't know, is our patient satisfaction scores. And while it takes an entire team to reach this awesome results, it is Nurses Week, so join me in thanking a nurse. And again, it says #ThankANurse, and I'd like to personally thank the nurses I have with me today. If you guys would please introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Jennifer Gothard. I'm the clinical educator for the emergency department at Our Lady of the Lake Ascension.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. I am Susan Wagesback. I am the Director of Patient Support Services and Regulatory Management. Thank you.
Hi, thank you for having us. I'm Melissa Crass, registered nurse, manager of care management, social work, therapy, wound care, whatever else she wants me to do.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Laisha Barnes. I'm the Director of Inpatient Nursing. That includes all the units except the emergency room and surgical services.
Thank you.
Good evening, I am Tamika Westbrook. I am the clinical educator for the inpatient units.
Thank you.
Good evening, I'm Angela Petrakis, Cath Lab Supervisor at Our Lady of the Lake Ascension.
Thank you.
Good evening. Charlotte Johnson, the System Director for Nursing Informatics for the health system.
Thank you, Charlotte.
Hello, I'm Tammy O'Connor. I'm the nurse manager for the emergency department. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Stacy Berry, OR Manager at Our Lady of the Lake Ascension.
Hi, I'm Kathy Ashe. I'm the Director of Surgical Services.
Thank you. Ladies, if you all will come up here, we'll get a picture with you. I'm coming around front.
And anyone who has ever benefited from a nurse, I want y'all in the picture too. That's going to be pretty much everyone. Dempsey and Oliver Joseph, if y'all could come to the side over here. These ladies are overpowering. Doc, you're good. You're good and tall. Oh, too bad, Johnny. I can see you too, bud. Tiptoe down. Oh, my. Yeah, that's good. That's very good. You're going to do a couple, which means 10. I think I got you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I do want to make one more comment. As legislation comes to your attention, especially as it serves to protect our healthcare workers, please actively consider those legislations because nurses have an increase of 54% violence against them. And it's pretty difficult to maintain caring for people while you're under fire yourself. Thank you.
Thank you for mentioning that. Talk to Representative Bacala. He's in the back. I'll bet. I'll bet. Mr. President.
Ladies' health, people come up.
The ladies' health.
Well, I think
Is it big enough?
whereas National Women's Health Week is an initiative by a coalition of public and private organizations dedicated to raising awareness of women's health issues and the empowerment of women to make the health a priority, and whereas National Women's Health Week promotes women taking responsibilities for their own health through greater knowledge and understanding, and to help women take the necessary steps to improve their health. And whereas because it is within Our Lady of the Lake Ascension's mission to improve the health of community through education, Our Lady of the Lake Ascension and the Women's Advisory Committee has chosen Ascension Parish to officially continue its local efforts. And now, therefore, I, Kenny Matassa, President of the Parish of Ascension, State of Louisiana, by virtue of authority vested in me, do hereby proclaim May 12th through 18th, 2019, National Women's Health Week.
I'm retired.
So y'all chose Ascension to continue the efforts in
In the women's,
in that area?
we are the advocates between Our Lady of the Lake Ascension Hospital and the public as to what's going on. We're kept up to speed as to the new doctors, the new services, the new things that are happening at Our Lady of the Lake Ascension. And we are the ones who can tell others, if we're in a conversation with them or whatever, what's going on. We also raise funds a little bit throughout the year, and we do nursing scholarships twice a year that we offer to some of the up-and-coming nurses that are in our community and in our area.
Very good. Very good. So when y'all got something new, y'all don't have to wait a year. Y'all can come back and tell us. So,
Well, we're having our annual Women's Health Luncheon that we do each year, and that's coming up on May the 15th at Elegant Affairs, and you can get your tickets through Eventbrite. That's through the hospital and the Women's Advisory Committee. And we usually have around 150 to 200 ladies that attend this, and we have a speaker that speaks, and it's a real nice annual lunch that we have each year for the women in our area.
y'all also do the men too up in the
We
men's.
do. That one's coming up in June.
Very good. So thank y'all so much.
We'll
Let's
be
go
back.
up here and take a picture. All right.
Audrey, you want to introduce your committee?
I sure will. This is Miss Denise Jafisi, Louise Long, and Lisa Bacala, and we're just 4 of about 60, I think, 50 or 60 that are on the Women's Advisory Council at the hospital.
Very good.
One more. That's the one. Thank you.
Mr. President, your President's report.
Okay, I'm going to just go into that 6A.
6.1, resolution.
Yes, ma'am.
Very
I had gotten a few calls on people that had houses were flooded and they just scraped up some money to start working on them. And it was brought to my attention this week that they calling me and saying that they didn't realize that we were charging for the permits. And so I checked into it, and what happened was we put a deadline on the homes, but we didn't put a deadline on the commercial. So I think we just kind of messed up because we talked about letting them, trying to help these people get back in their homes by not charging. We will still inspect to make sure everything's done right, and they have to get a permit, but we wasn't charging them before, and I think it's only right not to charge them if the house was flooded. Now, OEP through Rick Weber has the full list of every house that had water in it. So we just have, if, with your permission, we verified it was flooded in 2016, and we wouldn't charge them.
I move to adopt the resolution. Second.
Have a motion by Mr. Dawson, a second by Mr. Cagnolati to adopt the resolution. Mr. Parrington advised me if it needs to be read.
No, it's a
Thank you.
resolution.
All righty, thank you very much. Any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, item 7.1 is an amendment to a property description attached to an ordinance September 6, 2018, to purchase a 5.5-acre parcel of property for the new Ascension Parish Courthouse. Mr. Parrington.
Yes, you already approved the purchase, but the title company wanted we had a survey done, and title company wanted you to approve the revision to the description of the property. So all we need to do is just authorize that so they can put it in the
I
title.
have a motion by Mr. Todd Lambert and a second by Mr. John Cagnolati. Any questions? Any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes. At this time, item number 77.2 comes up on the agenda. This is a monumental occasion for Ascension Parish, and so we're going to invite Mr. Gasper Jafici, who is our program manager for the new courthouse, to come up in just a moment. I just want to comment how excited I am personally about this project, what it means to our parish, how much effort I have observed go on between Gasper, the clerk, our judges, the administration. It's been a collaborative effort that I am proud to have been just a small part of. So I'm honored to move to item number 7.2 and invite Gasper to the podium, please.
Thank you,
I
ma'am.
think what we'll do right now is have O'Neill read the approval of the guaranteed maximum price under the construction management at risk process for the construction of the new Ascension Parish Courthouse, and then you can take it from there, Gasper.
He has the guaranteed maximum.
He's got it? All right, Gasper,
No, well,
go
I don't,
ahead.
I actually don't have it in front of me.
Well,
if you would.
somebody better have it.
Okay. The guaranteed maximum construction price of option 2, which was the base bid with reductions, was $27,438,395.
Correct.
Okay. Take it away, Gasper. Tell us a little bit
Yeah,
about
thank
the
you.
bill.
This has been quite an interesting process. You recognize the people that were instrumental in putting this plan together, the judges, the clerk of court, the sheriff's office, the parish, the administration. Everybody's worked hard to come to this conclusion. This process was the first of its kind in Ascension Parish. It was a contract management at risk, construction manager at risk, rather. And it was the first time it was done here, and I know Bridget had to appear before the legislature to get that permission for us to do that project. It was absolutely the right way to go. It was recommended by CSRS early on in the process. And through that process, we not only selected as we normally do, selected an architect through professional services selection. We selected Grace Hebert. With us tonight from Grace Hebert, Adam Fishbein and Joelle Fontenot in the back here. But we also selected the contractor to work with the architect through the entire design process. And we went through quite a rigorous selection of contractors who had experience in building such facilities. We were happy to select the Lemoyne Company, and with us tonight from the Lemoyne Company are Mike Rice, one of the vice presidents, and John Link, the lead estimator. We've worked very closely with them. They were under contract to work with Grace Hebert through this process to get to this point and to get to an acceptable guaranteed maximum price. And that's where we are tonight. So it's quite an interesting process. I'm very happy with both the architect and the selection of the contractor. They've worked very hard together to give Ascension Parish what Ascension Parish is looking for in terms of that new courthouse. I'm happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Before I take questions, I want to do one thing. That podium's tall and I'm short, and so I failed to acknowledge the representatives of the sheriff's office who are here because I can't see them. So I want to do that. I want to thank them for being here.
Sure.
The sheriff was wonderfully collaborative personally and through his representatives in this process, so I don't want to neglect to mention him. Thank you very much. Any questions? Mr. Dawson.
So I'd like to, maybe, if you don't mind, I'd like to just make the motion to approve this and then
Happily.
ask the questions during the discussion.
Surely. I have a motion by Mr. Dawson, a second by Mr. Todd Lambert. Any questions? Mr. Dawson.
So, I'd just like to clarify a few things. So we had the guaranteed maximum price of $27,400,000 and some odd thousand, right?
Correct.
So our bond was $25 million. Can you explain to us, where that delta is coming from, or is that something that we get?
It might be best for our clerk of court to explain that. I can.
Well, what I'd like to ask is that this delta between what we bonded and what the total cost is something that is not being paid for by the parish. Is that correct?
That's correct. That's correct. The agencies got with the architect and the builder, and we split up by proportion as to which section will we're going to take up in the courthouse and portion that to the overage of the bond amount, and those agencies are paying that, not the parish.
Yeah.
So clerk of court's paying her share, sheriff is paying a share, and the judges are paying a share.
So
And parish court as well.
Okay, and additionally, in the projections, there is some additional money in the fees to assist the parish with operation and maintenance costs. Is that correct?
That is correct as well, yes.
Okay. So that was as far as I have on that. I would like to ask Gasper a few questions about, so if you would, Gasper, would you tell us, like, is the design in compliance with all the current regulations that both the city, this is inside the city limits of Gonzales?
Both the city and the parish regulations were in compliance with, yes.
So that's fill ordinance, drainage ordinance, everything is in compliance with what our, not only the city's current regulations, but our current regulations. Is that
Yes,
correct?
sir. The only thing remaining is a traffic study DOT requested,
Okay.
which we're working, they just requested that recently for the driveway permit. But other than that, yes, we're in complete compliance.
So also, there's a buzzword, it's zero net fill, so, it just simply means that whatever fill is used to, brought in or dug up around is compensated for by a hole somewhere else in the floodplain. Is it correct to
That's
say
correct.
that we have zero net fill on this project?
We
Is
have
that
zero
correct?
net fill on that site, thanks to the purchase of the adjacent property.
Okay,
We were able to arrive at zero net fill, correct.
and then, if you don't mind, Gasper, would you talk about the drainage improvements that are being done in that area because of this project, in addition to, the requirements?
Yes, the ditch that currently comes from the south of the project site to the north through under East Worthy, there will be an improvement under East Worthy, and the ditch will be relocated along the property line instead of where it is now, where it kind of meanders through. It'll be enlarged. And most importantly, the pond that's on the site that was purchased by the parish is substantially enlarged to handle the rain event, any rain event in that area. In fact, for a 10-year, 25-year, and 100-year storm event, the drainage through that entire area will be substantially improved from what it is now. So the drainage study meets the requirements of both the city of Gonzales, which now follows the parish requirements for drainage, and the parish, obviously.
Thank you.
Does that answer that?
Well, one last question.
Right.
So, I know you have a lot of experience in these construction management. That's kind of your specialty. Is that correct?
It is.
So, just how much savings do you think that we obtained using this CMOR process versus the regular, the conventional process?
Well, I can tell you there was a lot of time spent, knowing what the budget was and knowing we had budget limitations, a lot of time spent by Lemoyne and Grace Hebert and the parish, everyone involved, all the players involved in this process to get the prices down. Both Grace Hebert and Lemoyne provided a lot of alternatives for us to consider. One of the most significant ones was, and rather than, as the price of steel continued to go up as we were going through the design process, Lemoyne suggested doing a tilt-up wall construction, a little technical, but instead of a steel frame building, a tilt-up concrete wall building, it saved hundreds of thousands of dollars. So that kind of analysis by both Lemoyne and Grace Hebert in attempts to get that price down to the most, the most financially responsible price that we could get it and still get what we wanted in terms of a courthouse. They did a great job with that.
Thank you, Gasper.
Sir.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
You're welcome, sir. Any further questions? Mr. Sadlerly.
Yes, thank you. Sure, yep, thank you, Gasper. You may have answered this, and I may have missed it from Bill's questions, but so in talking about satisfying both the city and the parish's ordinances as it relates to everything except the traffic study, I guess it's forthcoming, but particularly drainage, the detention pond capacity currently in this, I'm just going to call it courthouse development, is built to what year storm event?
Well, an analysis was done for storm events of 10, 25, and 100-year storm events. The drainage is improved through that entire area for each of those storm events. I'm not sure I can say that it was built for a particular storm event. If I had to say it, I'd say a 25-year storm event.
Because I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't we just recently change that in our ordinances?
Right.
Is that correct?
25-year.
So 25-year.
So it's 25.
Yeah, but in my looking at it, I looked at from what quality engineers performed in terms of the drainage study was that the drainage is improved for every storm event, up to a 100-year storm event.
Thank you. That's all I have,
Sure.
Madam Chair.
Thank you. Gasper, I have one question. Would you please address the level of improvement in security for the public visiting the courthouse, for our judges, for law enforcement, and how you have accomplished that improved level of security, if there is one?
Yeah, you can't tell from this rendering, but that is a rendering of the proposed courthouse, by the way. The entrance, the primary entrance where all the public will go through, it leads into a foyer, and from the foyer goes through metal detectors and x-ray, and your purses, wallets, whatever will go through x-ray machines. It's a substantially greater security than you currently have for both, not only the courtrooms, but also for the clerk of courts folks and for everyone else who works in the building. So it's substantially improved. Not just that aspect of it, but the entire flow through the entire building in terms of you will never have, let's say, prisoners who have to appear in court use the same corridor as judges or staff or anyone else. So it was quite interesting. I'd never been through that process myself before, and I was really fascinated by it. I think they did a very good job with that.
And you would acknowledge, I'm sure the judges will, that today in our courthouse, there is considerable contact, considerable opportunity for something very unfortunate to happen. Judge Vertigat?
That's correct. I think y'all can remember from one of the first times I came and spoke to you, at least a good year ago, maybe longer. That was one of our driving factors, for a reason for the building. If not the driving factor, was the security issue as to what we have now. And that's not to say the sheriff doesn't do a great job to what we have now, but it is very dire at times due to the number of inmates we have to bring back and forth because of the dockets and the growth of the dockets. And so with this design, we've got with national people who do this for a living. We got with the architect, the builder who, done these kind of buildings before and built other courthouses and really put what, is the leading edge kind of designs for how courtrooms are supposed to be in this day and age. And it will be just far leaps above than what we have now as far as where the public has to come in contact, as well as the judges and the staff and the attorneys and everyone else.
Thank you so much. Mr. Joseph.
Yes. Judge, I know I'm looking through the agreement with the contract, and then they have a section in the agreement that say the DBE, disadvantaged business enterprise, and it also say it will participate in good faith. They will bring in DBE company. What program or what assurance do we have besides a good faith?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was no requirement in the contract for that, although but what the Lemoyne Company did was to host a workshop where they had all the local contractors, small business contractors, come to that workshop and look to see what possible roles they could play on the project. I don't know. I'm not privy to that information as to who they might have selected, and I don't know that. Are you
support you?
Yeah, there we go. So Mike might be able to address that. Mike Rice, Vice President with the company.
Yes, we have been waiting for the project to get approved before we go through the buyout process. But our team has looked at the proposals, and we think it's a safe assumption that we'll have about $1 million of DBE trade partners and vendors part of the project. I can report that to you today.
Okay. Then the only reason because we discussed this DB program and strategic planning, and since this is one of our first project that the parish and parish government, I would just request or ask the administrator that we can get someone to work with y'all and use it as a pilot program, so we can see what we're doing right and wrong, and so when we do create the DBE program inside the parish, at least we'll have an idea what direction to go with it. So
We can certainly participate in that.
appreciate that y'all do have the DBE program in your contract. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions? All right. Any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes. We'll celebrate in just a second. Item number 7.3, approval of an intergovernmental agreement between Ascension Parish Government, Ascension Parish Clerk of Court, Ascension Parish Sheriff's Office, and the 23rd Judicial District Court to determine each entity's contribution to the price of the construction of the new Ascension Parish Courthouse previously approved.
Madam Chairwoman?
Yes.
The Ascension Parish Court is also participating. I think
And the Ascension Parish Court, that was,
So I can give you those numbers if you want me to.
if you would, please.
Okay. The parish, of course, is bonded $25 million, which is being funded basically by the increase in court costs in civil matters. The clerk is going to contribute $3,213,163.52. The sheriff is going to contribute $892,754.54. The court will contribute $403,742.58, and the parish court will contribute $50,000.
Thank you very much. I have a motion by Mr. Todd Lambert, a second by Mr. Dempsey Lambert. Any questions? Any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes. And I invite pictures. It's a monumental day. Please, where's our photographer? Don't anybody leave.
Judge, y'all come up here. Okay.
Yeah, let's do it.
Mike, why don't you come up?
That's where you gotta get a picture.
I guess.
Come on.
I'm sorry.
Some there aren't as much.
You might want to stay all the way in the back then. Thank you so much.
Well, I think y'all gonna make it a little too wide there, John. Oh, yeah, I hate to do this too, but I need you back where you belong. And, Bill, if you would stand to Doc Satterley's right, please, sir.
That's where I came from. Say they didn't want you on the front.
All right, I need you to get a little more friendly than that, please. No, I still don't have you. I'm sorry.
Who's missing?
Back up. Everybody's just, I'm way too wide, way too wide. John, could I get you to go back with the council members, sir? Yeah, if you could just go, if you'll stand to Bill Dawson's right. Stop right there, Mike, you're good?
The biggest man in the room.
Okay, that may work. No, I can't, no, Johnny, I can't see you, sir.
Yeah.
Now that, I think I can do that.
How about right here?
That's good. Sadly, yes. Couple of them. One more, we gotta see how that looks. Well, that looks professional. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Keep on moving.
Appreciate you.
You're gonna like that.
Did I have you hold your breath for that?
Good, Jasper.
Okay. Thanks. Appreciate it.
I just wanted to say thank y'all again, and as the newest judge, I just wanted to, and we have some representatives from the west side, and we're in a courthouse, in a courtroom, so I just wanted to make everyone feel certain in Donaldsonville that we're still going to have court here. I come here twice a month. That will not change. There's definitely a need for this community to have a courthouse here. And I had a courtroom full of people today that I met with, so I just wanted to make sure that y'all all knew that too, that my commitment to continue to have court here at least twice a month. And there are a couple of other judges that come here too, so.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
We appreciate that. Thank
And
you
of
for
course,
clarifying.
I will still have my clerk's office here, so we will be able to provide all the services we provide now. Thank y'all.
We appreciate it. Okay. Item 8, approval of a contract renewal for evening substance abuse group leader with Alicia Macy. Ms. Jones.
Ms. D.
Ms. Jones.
On March 13th, 2019, the Ascension Counseling Center received a proposal from T. Alicia Massey to provide professional leadership for the evening SA group. It is the recommendation of the Ascension Counseling Center staff to seek your approval and to authorize the parish president to enter into any applicable agreement or contract for this service.
Motion. Second.
Have a motion by Councilman Cagnolotti, a second by Councilman Todd Lambert. Any questions? Any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes.
Thank you.
Take a pause here, gentlemen, and back up to the consent agenda. We got excited over the courthouse. Cinnamon?
Proposed ordinance to amend the Ascension Parish Code of Ordinances, Section 18.3, Ascension Parish Board of Mental Health and Addictive Disorders Advisory Board, to increase the number of board members from 5 to 9, and to authorize the board to dismiss a board member who is absent from 3 meetings in a 1-year period.
Motion.
Have a motion by Councilman Cagnolotti, a second by Councilman Todd Lambert. Any questions? Any objections? Mr. Cagnolotti.
Real quick, I want to thank the parties involved with this. We got a request from Suzanne Hamilton, who is a June that we have. And thank you, O'Neill, for his assistance getting this put together. And it makes sense. It's a good ordinance. Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate that very much. Thank you, John, for the work you did to accomplish this. Any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes. Item number 9, approval for the Mental Health Department to solicit quotes and purchase malpractice insurance at a competitive rate for the year 2019-2020.
Motion.
Have a motion by Councilman Gildoss, by Councilman John Cagnolotti. Oh, was that you, Oliver?
Yes.
So it was a motion was by Councilman Joseph?
No.
Oh, I can't hear on that side.
Second.
All right, and the second by Councilman Joseph. All right, any questions? Any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes. Item number 10, an amendment to a resolution on the industrial tax exemption for air products. Ms. Kate is here tonight. Thank you, Kate.
Hey, everyone. We're going to go back in time for a second. So this is one of the first ITEP approvals that you all made under the executive order. And under that process, they came directly to the locals first and then finished their applications with the state afterwards. And so during that application process, it was brought to Air Products' attention that when they filed their numbers, the payroll number, they were including part-time salaries and benefits, which was not allowed by LED. So they requested that we correct the payroll number to reflect $653,000 rather than $1.1 million to match up with the contract that LED executed with Air Products. So I'm asking if you can amend the resolution to reflect that.
Thank you. I have a motion by Councilman Cagnolotti, second by Mr. Dawson. Any questions?
I have a question.
Go, Mr. Dawson.
Has this gone to the Board of Commerce and Industry?
Yes.
Okay. Assuming that's been approved.
It has.
And then also AEDC Board has approved this. Is
Correct.
that correct? Thank you.
And it was already under construction, so this is just to finalize their
Clean up.
paperwork.
Absolutely. Any further questions? Any objections?
Who's the second?
It was
I second it.
It was John and Bill, and then Bill seconded for the purpose of questions. All right. Any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes. Thank you, Kate, for cleaning that up. Right. Item number 11, approval of a certificate of substantial completion, corporate mechanical solutions, chiller number 2 replacement, Ascension Parish Courthouse East Complex.
So moved, Madam Chairman.
Have a motion by Councilman Todd Lambert.
Second.
Second by Councilman Dempsey Lambert. Any questions? Any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes. Item number 13, a resolution, sewer rates for Ascension Consolidated Utilities District Number 1, residential customers and commercial customers with the modification of the commercial customers overage rate from $8 to $5. This was a Utilities Committee recommendation.
Motion.
Have a motion by Councilman Satterly, a second by Councilman Todd Lambert. Any questions? Any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes. Item number 16, a resolution authorizing the parish president to negotiate at any time within the year 2019 a contract or contracts with the Louisiana Department of Health and Hospitals, Office of Public Health, Nutrition Services, WIC program, and to execute said documents on behalf of the parish. Mr. Parrington.
This is just the standard contract that we have to do every year to keep the WIC program going in the parish. So moved.
Have a motion by Councilman Todd Lambert, second by Councilman Dempsey Lambert. Any questions? Any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes. Item number 17, under introduction of ordinances. Introduction of an ordinance to amend the Ascension Parish Land Unified Development Code, Appendix 4, Subdivision Regulations, Section 17-4011, Approval of Final Plat Procedures, F, Infrastructure Development District.
Motion to introduce.
Have a motion by Councilman Todd Lambert to introduce. Number 18, introduction of ordinance, budget amendment number 3, to amend the 2019 budget.
Move to introduce.
Have a motion by Councilman Bill Dawson to introduce. Number 19, introduction of an ordinance requesting authority to grant to the parish president to acquire the right-of-way required to construct the Tiggy Duplessis Safety Widening Project.
Motion to introduce.
Have a motion by Councilman Satterly to introduce. Introduction of an ordinance, number 20, to set water rates for the Parish Utilities of Ascension, PUA, residential, commercial, and industrial customers.
Motion to introduce.
Motion by Councilman Satterly to introduce. Item number 21, introduction of an ordinance to revoke 35 feet of an existing 50-foot drainage servitude running along the northeastern property line of Lot 4-A of the Ultima Plaza subdivision. Move to council via the UDC 17.4050.
Motion.
Have a motion to introduce by Councilman Cagnolati. Number 22, introduction of an ordinance to revoke an existing 7 1/2 foot rear yard servitude running 7 1/2 feet along the western property lines of Lot 11 and 12, and to remove the T-turnaround right-of-way on Marketplace Drive located on the western end of Commerce Center, first filing of the former Robert P. Odom tract and the Webb Estate property.
Move to introduce.
Have a motion to introduce by Councilman Dawson. At this time, the chair will have a roll call vote to go into executive session.
Madam Chairman, we don't have to go into executive session on this. I think I can handle this.
Okay.
It's a settlement of a property damage claim, and the reason this was on a meeting before, but they've agreed to pay us our damages, which is the amount of $10,615.76. So we just need a motion to approve the settlement.
Motion. Second.
Motion by Councilman Todd Lambert, second by Councilman Cagnolati to approve the settlement. Any questions? Any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes.
One thing I'd like
Yes.
to do is I think I'm going to bring it to the council next time. The last time we revised the amounts for settlement to go to the council was 1993. So this is a little bitty property damage claim for $10,000 that we could have been paid 2 months ago, but we had to wait to go through the process. I think anything under $25,000, we ought to be able to, especially on a property where they're damaging our property. I think we delayed the process ourselves. We'd have been paid 2 months ago.
Well, we can certainly talk about that. I think that you might get a positive response to that. Okay, so any Objections? Hearing none, that motion passes. Councilman Dempsey Lambert has motioned to adjourn, with followed, seconded by Mr. Cagnalotti. Thank you all very much.